Thank you. We're live. This is a meeting of the Town of Babylon Planning Board, June 28th. I'm Patrick Halpin, the chair.
Change the date there, buddy.
What did I say?
June 28th.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Jerry. That was that's a good catch.
I like the suggestion, though.
Well, we're not
Thank you.
there
We're
yet.
live. This is a meeting of the Town of Babylon Planning Board, June 28th. I'm Patrick Halpin, the chair.
Change the date there.
All right.
I'm sorry. Do you have any issue with feedback there? Is that me? We're all set?
We're good.
We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me correct that. Today is the 8th of June, 2020, and this is the Town of Babylon Planning Board. Before we go into item A, which is a site plan review, I'm going to ask Denise to take the roll.
Sure. Patrick Halpin,
Present.
Michael Cafaro,
Present.
Frank Santos,
Present.
Julianne Nolan,
Present.
Jerry O'Neill,
I'm here.
Dan Truchin.
Very excited to be here.
Okay. Very good. We have
think they left-
everybody in
Oh,
attendance.
we forgot Ed.
Got it, Pat.
Oh, please, I'm sorry.
Edwin,
Present.
Edwin, I apologize, Ed. I was
No
jumping
problem.
the gun here.
we have
All
our
right.
planning board council, Rich Casey, and environmental, Rich Grau.
Yes.
And of course, our planning board planner, Matthew Esposito.
Present.
Thank you.
Pat, would you like me to read the planning board statement?
Yes.
Okay. The planning board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the planning board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void.
Thank you, Denise. Denise, why don't you start with the agenda, item A?
Item A, site plan review, job number 18-38A, Educational Bus Transportation, Inc. They propose to construct additional parking and outdoor storage along with associated site improvements and to merge all lots into one parcel.
Okay, I believe the applicant is here along with their attorney.
Actually, the client is at a different location and is monitoring it on the phone, but is not in on the,
Yeah, I'm here.
oh.
No, Ron's here.
Ron's here. Oh, great. Okay.
Okay, Ron, why don't you introduce yourself for the record?
Hi, Ron Gambini, Vice President of Maintenance for Educational Bus Transportation.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Kretz?
Yes, sir. My name is Steve Kretz. I'm here with Charlie Giovanna, the architect who has prepared the plans throughout. And we're very eager to get to the next level. The schools are going to open one of these days, and we'd love to have this facility ready to go, or as near ready to go as possible. I'm sure Ron will echo that. They are one of the largest employers in the town of Babylon, especially of town of employee residents on one site. And we think that this has developed in a very, very nice way. The planning department has done an excellent job in working on it, working with Charlie. They've gone through a couple of iterations of the plan, and things have worked out quite nicely. There was a lot of give and take. The town was very willing to discuss the issues with Charlie, and I think even Charlie might say that it worked out pretty good.
We're where we are, which is good.
This is one of their main facilities now. They have facilities throughout Nassau and Suffolk County and upstate New York. And the idea of this, as is illustrated in the memo from the planning department for this hearing, that they have parking that they are confident will work because there are, many spots, but also of the way that this will work. as a driver of one of the vehicles, one of the larger bus or van comes in, they will pull the work vehicle out of its spot and pull their vehicle into the spot. So we will not be using up roadway parking spaces that would clog the neighborhood. They have used this very successfully in a number of other locations. I've worked with them on a couple of them over in Nassau County. And everybody says that it works really well. And they've got long ones for the big buses, shorter ones for the vans, and works real well.
Okay. Would you like to walk us through the site plan so we could see exactly what you're talking about? And
Yes. You wanna do that?
who would like to do that? The architect?
Yes, okay, I will do it.
All right.
What we're proposing is to add 2 parcels to our overall site, which has over the years been developed and has had the approvals from the town. One site is on Mahan Street. One site is on Lamar Street. It basically consists of car parking, van parking, and bus parking, which we've integrated into the overall scheme so that the traffic flow is acceptable to educational bus, the operators, and your town planners, who we work with to make sure the traffic works out okay. So basically, there's nothing being done to the existing building, which is offices and maintenance. And basically, all we're asking for here is the 2 additional areas to store, park the buses and vans.
Mhm.
Some of the property that Charlie just referred to at the end there came from the animal shelter property that the town owned. We took a large portion of that facility when it was up for sale and from the town, and it has been integrated into to this plan and this property. And we're very grateful that the town considered us as the top bidder, I suppose, to use this property in this way.
Okay, Matt, can you just, for the board members, I see you're moving the cursor, just describe what you're showing us, illustrating.
Sure. So as you can see on the screen, we have aerial imagery with all the tax map parcels highlighted in red, and the site boundaries are highlighted in blue. The only discrepancy here is that the old parcel that consisted of the town animal lot has not been updated to reflect the subdivision and by deed and sale from the town to the applicant. So the town is retaining this retention pond and keeping that, and had sold the front half on Lamar Street to the applicant. So this area, as circled by the mouse, is the animal shelter site that is being added that Mr. DiGiovanna and Mr. Kretz referred to. And these 2 parcels, this jut out parcel that reaches out to Mahan is also a part of the application, and is an additional area that parking is being and bus vehicle storage is being added to in connection with the rest of the existing facility.
Okay. Before we go any further, I just want to ask Mr. Kretz, you referenced the planning commissioner's memorandum. You've had a chance to review it. Do you have any questions or comments regarding any of the conditions, covenants, or restrictions?
No, we're good with all of them. There was a hiccup not so long ago that has been straightened out with respect to the drainage on the site, and everything has been satisfactorily resolved. I think Matt could probably talk about it in greater detail if it's of any interest.
Well, before we get into that, let's just, so your client has no, supports all of the conditions, covenants and restrictions without any reservation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Oh, all right, good. Matt, do you want to comment on that point regarding drainage?
Sure, I'll touch on it, and then I think Rich Grove could probably touch on it as well. Part of the expansion of this property requires additional drainage structures to be installed in these parking and vehicle storage areas. It is a little tricky with depth to groundwater here, so I believe the applicant had proposed a little bit of a more intricate system, like a Coltech or a Stormtech. And I think the issue has been resolved with using a different style of chamber, more of the concrete standard leaching vault type system. And those revisions are expected shortly. I believe the applicant was waiting to get those into us until after having the hearing to see if there was any additional feedback from the planning board. But I'll defer to Rich Grow, who knows, I think, a little bit more about the issue regarding drainage.
Mr. Grow?
Sure. This project is what we would call a SWIP project. It's an acre or more disturbance. With that trigger, there's a requirement for a 4-foot separation to groundwater. If the applicant cannot meet that requirement, they have to indicate that in the SWIP document. So that's the direction that we went. And that will be included in the document, and that resolved the issue, and they're going to be able to use standard drainage structures, for the site.
Okay. Do any of the board members have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Barry? Julianne? Michael? Dan?
No.
Frank?
No.
Nice facial hair, Frank, by the way.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Kretz?
No, sir. No, we're good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Matt, you're on.
So there are revisions required in engineering, as we just discussed, to address the drainage. We anticipate those shortly, I believe, from the applicant. The planning department recommends extending the record 2 weeks to June 22nd, 2020.
Okay. I need a motion to extend the record to June 22nd. Do I have a motion from Julianne?
Motion.
Second, Jerry O'Neill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Denise, we'll go back to you get back to the agenda. Item B.
So item B is an amendment to a resolution from last week for subdivision, job number 19-45BE, MR Property Builders LLC.
Okay, Matt, you sent a new memorandum around on behalf of the commissioner?
Correct. An edited resolution that I worked on with Mr. Casey. Basically, last week we approved the recommendation at town board for the change of zone. The conditions and covenants were the conditions and covenants tied to the subdivision, which reflect 2 separate parcels that will be created as a result of the subdivision. But the town board will be hearing the matter and for a change of zone on the one overall parcel. So the way the conditions and covenants were laid out didn't make a ton of sense for the one singular parcel. As a result, the amended resolution reflects only 2 conditions. And I'll defer to Rich Casey on those conditions.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the original resolution had all of the somewhat standard covenants and conditions contained for site plan review and approval, and it's somewhat premature to do that. So the original amendment was removing all of them, but we retained 2 that gave advice and recommendation to the town board about single family, owner occupied, and some of the more essential conditions and covenants that they might impose in addition to what we'll do when we do a final site plan review.
Okay, do you want to get into a little bit more specifics about those 2 covenants that we're recommending to the town board?
Sure,
For the record.
absolutely. The first covenant was at the recommendation to the town board was subject to final subdivision approval from the planning board. But since we had included many conditions and covenants in other recommendations, I thought it was important to retain some of the essential character of a recommendation being made. So the second covenant that was added, then the final one for now, is that it is recommended to the town board that no further subdivision of the two lots be permitted, and the use of both parcels shall be for owner-occupied, single-family dwelling purposes with no accessory apartments. So approving the additional development of the lot, the subdivision, and that's a recommendation to the town board. Our covenants will be finalized and decided at the site plan approval or not.
Okay, thank you. Do any of the board members have any questions?
No. Good.
No? Julianne, Jerry, Michael, Frank, Dan? Okay, thank you very much. Matt, what do you need from us?
I believe we need a motion to approve as amended.
Okay. Could I have a motion to approve as amended? Frank, will you make that motion? Okay.
Motion to approve is amended.
Second, Dan?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved. Thank you.
We're up to C, architectural reviews. Application for John Cotto, expansion of an existing house.
All right. Matt?
Everything is in good order with this application. This is just an expansion, a first floor addition and a second story addition to an existing home.
Okay. If there are no questions, a motion by Michael to approve. Michael?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I approve.
Okay. Second by Ed Wynn. Ed,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Approved. All right, we have Denise, why don't you pick up the item D?
For communications, number one is a letter from Anthony Guardino to the Town of Babylon Board regarding planning board job number 16-24 AEF, E 713 through 715 Sunrise LLC, and they're requesting 2 extensions of time. Item 2 is a memo dated June 2nd from Commissioner Shelfo to Pat Halpin regarding planning board job number 1624 AEF, UE 713 through 715 Sunrise LLC, stating no objection to granting 2 extensions of time.
Okay, do we need a resolution to grant those extensions?
Yes.
Need a motion on number 1.
Okay, could I have a motion to extend the application? Is that, Richard, what do I need to be doing?
Yes, it's a motion to grant 2 extensions of time.
Okay, 2 extensions of time, okay. Does anybody have any objections?
No.
Dan, I didn't hear you.
I'm
Dan? Okay, you're good. Motion by Dan. Had the time expired, Dan? Or was this done in a timely fashion?
I think it's probably had to do with COVID, I would assume.
Okay, well, yeah, there's a lot being blamed on COVID these days. Okay. All right, fair enough. Second by Jerry, all in favor?
Aye.
The 2 extensions are granted.
Now we have minutes for June 1st, 2020.
All right, Michael, any questions or comments?
Although I thought they were draft minutes at the time, they were fine. There weren't any corrections needed.
Okay, does anybody have any comments about the minutes? Questions? No? Okay, motion by Michael, second by Julianne, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The minutes of June 1st, 2020 are accepted.
Now we're going to go to page 4 on our reserved calendar. Go into public hearing date December 10th, 2018, planning board docket number 15-35AE, and it's Chaudry.
Matthew?
So all we're waiting on right now are comments from traffic safety. I'll follow up with that division regarding their comments. We recommend extending the record to June 22nd, 2020.
Okay. Let's see, motion by Frank, to extend
Motion.
the record?
Motion to extend the record.
Okay, second by Jerry.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Okay.
We're going to page 5, public hearing date December 9th, 2019, job number 19-24AK, Conklin Street Partners, LLC.
So we just recently received engineering requirement sheets from the engineering division. We are still reviewing and going back and forth with the applicant regarding an update to the traffic signal. They have to add a fourth face to that traffic signal. And right now our traffic safety division is reviewing their proposal. So we recommend extending the record to June 22nd, 2020.
Okay. Can we have a motion? Ed, would you offer a motion to extend the
Motion.
record? Okay, thank you. Second by Julianne.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved unanimously.
That is it on our reserved calendar for tonight.
Okay.
Just before we quit, just one item that we discussed last week. It's actually extended to June 22nd as well, is 1845 AE MR Property Builders. The board requested additional traffic analysis. I've been discussing with the applicant about getting some additional traffic analysis, but I just want to put it out there to the board due to COVID and kind of decrease in volume of traffic. If this analysis or study that they are performing requires some type of traffic counts, we're thinking, based on conversations with some traffic engineers, that maybe August might be a time where we're kind of getting a little bit back into the swing of things. It might be a more typical August than, say, September would be a typical September, because nobody knows what's going on with the schools at this point. So I just want to put that out there to the board to think about, and we'll discuss in a couple of weeks, but maybe there's a possibility if we get them to, if we have the conversation and they're committed to doing the study, that maybe we proceed with whatever we have to do in terms of recommendation to town board and getting them there while the study is commencing, and then the planning board can hold their decision until we've had that analysis and time to review it. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there, since traffic studies are just tough during these times, as traffic volumes are definitely not normal.
That's a good idea.
A good point.
If,
Very good point.
when was there,
One at a time. Ed, why don't you speak first?
No, I was commending Matt on that, because the traffic now is very light. And it would be good, because all the kids hopefully will be back to school. And as I stated before, there's quite a few homes up there. I was just telling my daughter the other day, there's well over 200 homes just in that, say, 4 or 5 blocks, easy on one side. There's easy 200 to 300 homes. So I think September would be a great time to do the traffic study.
Yeah, and to your point, it'd be more reflective of what traffic conditions are really like during a typical period of time when there's a lot of traffic, including school buses. Okay, anybody else have any comments?
So I have a question. When was this application submitted? Just to refresh my memory.
It was heard by the board on March 2nd, 2020, but the application was submitted in 2018. It's a 2018 planning board job.
So my only concern, I understand us postponing it for the calculation and the traffic study, but is there a way to just use the numbers as most other people do? Because I don't want to cause any further delay if we don't have to in the development within the community. And us as a planning board have a responsibility to the town to provide those developers in the community the most opportune and fastest processing through as we could, while still keeping the community in mind. I just want to know, is there another way if we do it by the numbers? And then if we have to, we can say, okay, let's wait till August to do a normal August, or September, do it September actual count.
Yeah, I can ask. I don't know if there's a way to pull historical numbers or flows, but that's kind of what I was mentioning is if the board's acceptable, like we've extended the record to June 22nd, we could then maybe proceed with getting, putting things in motion to get it to the town board. And then hopefully, by the time it completes the town board process and gets back to us, we've had the study in hand and a chance to analyze it. So that way we can kind of keep it on track while also still getting the study that we need, maybe, in a month, 2 to 3 months now at this point. Because it will take a little bit of time to get, refer to town board, get it scheduled, advertised, and have the hearing. So that's why I just brought it up to have the board members kind of think about that for that June 22nd record extended date.
Okay. Well, Matt, maybe between now and then you can look into the validity of any historical data that we might have regarding traffic.
Sure.
We'll have a fuller conversation on the 22nd.
So that would be precedent setting?
That's a good question. Who was that? Was that you,
Yeah.
Ed?
Michael,
Mike.
Yeah, I will look into it, definitely. I don't know, I'm not a traffic engineer. I don't know if that's feasible or if there are counts or another study in the area that they could piggyback on. I don't imagine that there are just kind of rolling counts for like specific intersections like that unless somebody has already studied it. So it'd be kind of luck of the draw if something's out there. If not, to get those counts, if indeed counts are determined necessary for this type of scope of study, which we'll confer with a traffic engineer, then it might have to wait until, we could do it. We could have them do it now, but I don't want to have them do it and it not be valuable. I think waiting till, August or around that time frame where it might be reflecting more normal conditions than right now.
I agree with that too, Matt.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that point, Matt, that you want the traffic count to be relevant to what the real conditions would be and during a typical period of time. Okay,
Yep.
So let's take that up on the 22nd.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. We need a motion to adjourn. Julianne?
We began our pre-meeting 6:45 to 7 p.m. The regular meeting commenced 7 p.m. and I make a motion to adjourn it now at 7:30 p.m.
Okay. Second by Ed?
Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.